Hi guys, today we will discuss about pagination in Laravel. So pagination is by default integrated with the query builder and eloquent in Laravel. So let's understand with the help of some example. I will use the post page. In my post page, there is a form on the top and the bottom. I am showing the listing. Right now there is a limited record, so there is no problem. But if you have thousand or million of records, then you don't want to show all of them in one go. So if you want to limit the number of record on one page and show the pagination, then uh, you must use the pagination, Laravel pagination. So let's understand with the help of some example in code. I have a post controller. Okay, and in this controller, uh, in the index method, I have used this query to fetch these records and showing all of them in one go. And I am using the blade template in a resource post index blade. Okay. So in this page, I'm rendering the form, and here I am looping through the records which I have passed from the controller. Okay, and I'm using the component to print it out. If you haven't seen my component video, then you can check that out in my video list, and there must be a link in the description box also for that. Okay, so let's open our post controller. Okay, so whether you are using the eloquent or query builder, you will have the access the paginator. Paginator like this. Okay, and in this paginator you have to pass the number of record you want to limit on one page. Okay, so let's say I have a small number of records, so I will choose two. So okay, and now this paginator method actually automate the limit and offset thing of your uh, records on the page. So with the help of on the blade syntax in the template, it formed the URL like this, so that you so that it will generate the page query string, and with the help of the page query string on the URL, it generates the next chunk of result. Okay, so here I am using the paginator, and that's it. And in a template file, and now if I refresh our page, paginator. Okay, it must be paginate. Sorry for that. Okay, so it is showing two, but still we are not seeing the pagination on the bottom. So for that, we have to render in template file as well. So to render the pagination, the Laravel provides the links method. Okay, I'm using under this if condition, because if you don't have any post, then there will be no, I think, no use to render the link, and it can cause the error on this page. Okay, so we have to use this links method on the object you are passing through your controller. And if we refresh now, we are getting the pagination. Okay, and you can see on the URL, on the top of the URL, there is a page query string, and the paginator object in Laravel uses this query string by default. Okay, you can customize it also. Okay, but in the most of the time, it is sufficient to use it. Okay, so now you can see the well, you can say well styled format of the pagination. Okay, by default, Laravel generates the if you generates the um, you can say HTML for the pagination, which will be compatible with the Bootstrap. Okay, so if you are using the Bootstrap in the Laravel, then it will render by default and beautify automatically. I'm using, so that's why it renders in a beautiful way. Okay, we will talk about the customization also. So let's continue on this topic. Okay, so it's a one form of the pagination, and the second form of the pagination is the simple one, where you can't see the number but see the uh, next and previous link. So for that, instead of using the paginate, you will have to use the simple paginate, like this. Okay, and now if you refresh it, okay, you can see next and previous page only. Okay, and if we reach at the last, the next got disabled, and we have to navigate the previous one like this. Okay, so this is the pagination, and its integration is so easy. So but there are so many options you can customize it. Okay, like let's change back to the paginate. Like if you want to customize the URL of these link, this pagination link, you can also customize with the help of the with URL method, with path method on the paginator object. With path. Okay, and here you can give your custom URL like XYZ. And now if we refresh it, on the every URL, on the every link, it has changed to the custom XYZ page 4. And because we don't have this URL in our application, then we got the 404 not found. Okay, so using this way, you can customize the URL. Okay, suppose you want to append some more query string in the pagination link, like with the page you want to send also the sort order or other attributes also. So you can append in the with the help of the appends function in the paginator object. Okay, so here in the template file there is a method appends. Okay, and it appends, it takes the array, an array, and here there's a sort by default dsc. And now if we refresh it, okay, and if you click, then you can see in the URL the parameter we have passed also appended prefixed it with the page parameter. Okay, so with this way you can pass the custom query string with together uh, page query string. Okay. Suppose you have already uh, query string on this page, like if we land on this page and let's name equals to Ajay. Suppose we have already a name equals to Ajay and we want to retain it on every click. Right now it will not retain because the pagination don't know what was on the query string. It just replaced it. So we have to make aware the paginator to also consider this and append its page parameter with that. So let's suppose we have a name equals to Ajay. Okay, and for this we have a different method called okay, with query string. So with the query string method, it also takes care of the existing query string, all the query string available on the page. So if you refresh now and now click, the existing query string will be retained. Okay, it can be very useful in development. That's why I am emphasizing it more. Okay, so one more thing. Let's sometime we have a hash fragment. So for that we can use the fragment also. The fragment with the help of the fragment method, we can append the hash string also. So there is a fragment and called let's say available, like this. Okay, and if we refresh now and click the page, then you can see there is a available hash string also there on every page. Okay, so like this you can append the hash string also. Okay, so let's move on to the let's wait for now. So we were talking about the customization. Okay, so for the customization, uh, you have to publish the vendor pagination file into your resource directory. So for that we have a command php artisan here vendor publish, and double dash tag Laravel Pagination. Okay, with the help of this command, it copies the all the template files to your application resource view vendor directory. Okay, and using these template file, you can customize the pagination. I'm using the bootstrap, so it is using so it will use this file bootstrap 4 plat. If you are using the tailwind, then it will be used tailwind. Okay, and if you are using no other thing like no bootstrap no tailwind, then it will use the default plat. So right now, if I'm using the bootstrap, then let's check it out if it is same template or not. So let's remove the content in that file. And now, if you refresh, the pagination gone. Okay, so it is using this file. So using this template, uh, you can customize the HTML. Okay, and you can also use this in your Ajax pagination. Okay, so right now it is reloading the new page. Okay, but most of the time we need the Ajax in pagination. So for that, we have to little bit tweak this. So in the post controller, first of all, we have to write 2-3 line of code for that. If we need to identify the request if it is a Ajax or not. So with the help of the request object, you can also check out my video on request in Laravel also. It can be very useful. If it is in Ajax, then return the JSON format. So in the response, I've also made the video on response. You can also check out that and the JSON. Okay, and in the JSON, just pass the post like this. Posts. Okay. So if request is a regex, then we will return a JSON format response. Otherwise, it will be continued working same as it is. Okay. So to change the behavior of this button, we have to write uh, some JavaScript snippet. Okay. So let's open the layout file. Okay, so for this uh, I will be using uh, Axios. Axios is the modern replacement of traditional Ajax in jQuery. Okay, you can also use the fetch library to make an Ajax request. So for that, document, let's bind the action on this click. Okay, so if you can see in the inspect, if it is a active link, then there is a no hyperlink, just a span, and the other link has a anchor tag. So we can use a dot page link class. Okay. So on click a dot page link. Okay, function, that function, first of all, e dot prevent default, because we don't want to uh, use its original behavior, and return false also. Okay, between that, let's make our ajax call x years. Okay, and get, we are getting, so we are using the get. Axios working on the promise, is a promise based library. Okay, and here in get we want URL, so this we will use this object. Okay, whatever link is clicking, and we will fetch the attribute href. Okay, and then it returns the promise, and for through catch we can catch the error, and in response here. Okay, and in the catch, let's log the error. So in the response you can manipulate this template content. Okay, you can use the container pagination, and this you have to tweak this template. Okay, so let's refresh our page. Okay, and open the network tab, so we can see the ajax request, and if we click the page number 3, it's make ajax request and we got 200. So let's see the response. So in the response, under the data, we got another 2 records. Okay, and the bunch of other fields also: first page URL, from, last page, next page, path, previous page, total record. Okay, so in this page if you see, the same thing it uses, so you can replace all this with the help of response here. Okay, I'm not going to do this, but you can customize. So it's a easier way to make the pagination ajax pagination. Okay, it can be very useful. The other method I want to discuss, if you see the template, it has the has pages method on the first page method. There are also other methods like current page methods. Okay, and the count method. So if you die dump here, post, and let's say count, so it returns the number of records on this page, and if you refresh, it shows 2. Okay, so you can refer the Laravel documentation, and you will have, you can see there and refer the number of method on this. Okay, so that's all for the today. Thank you for joining us.